You know that dream of soaring silently through the sky? Just riding invisible currents of air with nothing but the sound of the wind? It's pretty much the closest we can get to flying like a bird. And it might sound like something that takes a lifetime to learn, right? Well, what if I told you there's a program that promises to take you from the ground to solo pilot in just 10 days? Yeah, 10 days. Let's dig into how they pull that off.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures the magic, doesn't it? See, gliding isn't about brute force, a giant engine roaring away. It's more like this elegant dance with nature. You're not just a passenger, you actually become part of the atmosphere itself. You're feeling its energy, using it to climb, to travel, to truly fly. It's a feeling of freedom and connection that's just completely unique in the world of aviation.
All right, so how do you actually achieve that dream? Well, it's through this accelerated, really intense program. It's designed to take a totally dedicated beginner and turn them into a competent solo pilot. It's a heck of an ambitious climb for sure, but it's all built on a really clear, structured path.
Okay, get this. The pace of learning here is just astonishing. I mean, on day 1, you're just getting a feel for the controls, but by day 5, that's only 5 days later, you could be taking your very first flight completely alone. And it doesn't stop there. The journey pushes on with official flight tests, and by day 10, you're aiming for a full-on cross-country endorsement. It's a huge testament to what's possible when you're truly focused.
Now, you're probably thinking, how is that even possible? Well, this kind of rapid progress doesn't happen by just, hopping in a glider and hoping for the best. Nope. It's built on a super rigorous foundation of dual-track learning. You have to master this craft on 2 fronts, in the air and on the ground.
So your days are basically split between 2 essential classrooms. The first one is the cockpit. That's where you're mastering all the physical skills, right? How to handle the glider, how to nail your takeoffs and landings, and the really cool part, how to find and use lift to stay airborne for hours. But then there's the other classroom, on the ground, and that's where you build the mental framework, studying the whole shebang, from air law and meteorology to the nitty-gritty physics of how your glider actually flies. You absolutely need both. One just doesn't work without the other.
And this is where we have to get a little more serious. It's a really critical point. Modern gliders, they are incredibly safe, super reliable machines. The engineering is just phenomenal. But what that does is it shifts the entire focus of safety away from the machine and directly onto the single most complex and most fallible component in the cockpit, the pilot's mind.
So if the equipment is so reliable, what is the greatest risk? I mean, what is all this intense training really designed to protect you from?
The answer, and it's an overwhelming one, is human error. Just look at the data. The most dangerous scenario, the one that makes up the biggest slice of this pie, is the stall and spin at low altitude. It's not some dramatic equipment failure out of a movie. No, it's a sequence of small, tiny judgment errors made close to the ground where there's absolutely no room for recovery. And you see the other causes? Misjudged landings, problems on launch, just plain old complacency. They all point back to one thing: the pilot.
Okay, so statistics on its chart are one thing, but let's make this real. Let's look at how these errors actually play out in the real world. Because a simple mistake, just a moment of confusion, well, it can have immediate and very, very severe consequences.
Let's walk through a real case study. So picture this. You're on your final approach. You're getting ready to land. Your mind is focused, but maybe you're flying a glider that's just a little bit unfamiliar. And right there in front of you are 2 levers that look almost identical.
In that one critical moment, the pilot, in this case, grabbed the wrong one. They pulled the undercarriage lever instead of the air brake lever. So what happens? Without those air brakes to slow the aircraft down, the glider comes in way too fast. It overshoots the runway completely and crashes into a wall. A totally preventable accident, caused simply by a lack of cockpit familiarity.
And let's break down that #1 danger we talked about, the low-altitude stall and spin. Here's how it almost always happens. It starts with a pilot trying to stretch the flight just a little bit longer, maybe hunting for one last thermal, but they're way too close to the ground. Then, while turning, they get too slow, maybe a little distracted. All of a sudden, the wing stops flying. It stalls, and the glider can drop into a spin. And the terrifying part? With so little altitude, there is simply no time, no space to recover. It's a tragic sequence of events, and it's all too common. So, how do we prevent these tragedies? How do you stop this from happening? Well, it all goes back to building a safe pilot's mindset right from day one. The entire training program is specifically designed to help you recognize and short-circuit these exact error chains long before they can ever become a real problem. And this, right here, is where the genius of the curriculum's design becomes crystal clear. Look at this. Every single major risk has a direct countermeasure built into the training. That dreaded stall and spin at low altitude? You're drilling stall recognition and recovery exercises on day 4. The risk of pulling the wrong lever? That's prevented by hammering home pre-flight cockpit checks from the very first day, using a mnemonic like CB-SIFT-BEC. It's a checklist for controls, ballast, straps, all the way to canopy. Every common error you can think of, from launch emergencies to bad landings, is met with specific, repeated practice, over and over, until the correct, safe response is pure instinct.
Ultimately, this all boils down to one powerful concept: airmanship. And it's not just about flying skills, it's a discipline. It's about making the safe decision, not the easier, convenient one. It means always maintaining your safe flying speed. It means using your checklists every single time. It's about fighting that dangerous urge, that push-on-itis, when everything in your gut tells you it's time to land. It's a mindset of total professionalism and a deep respect for the sky.
And here's the standard you're held to. This says it all. It's not about being mostly sure you can make a landing, or probably being able to handle an emergency. No way. Safety in aviation is built on certainty. The second you have serious doubt about the outcome of something you're about to do, you're already way past the point of safe decision-making.
Look, the freedom of pure flight. It's an absolutely incredible and totally achievable experience. But the path to getting there, the path to the sky, it isn't really about mastering a machine. It's about mastering yourself. And that leaves us with the ultimate question for any aspiring pilot, doesn't it? Can you master your own discipline, your own judgment, and your own focus before you even try to master the air?